Greetings, welcome. I thought it only fair that I make viewers of the channel aware of a couple recent developments that haven't been that nice. Two videos that I made have been pulled, also known as censored, on this channel. And surprisingly enough, neither had anything to do with what, from everything I can tell, is a more than 200% efficient transformer. However, they were both medical related videos, and in the first one I was talking about an enzyme called nattokinase from the Japanese food natto, and I reviewed two public peer-reviewed studies in the medical literature which gave evidence for their findings that nattokinase dissolves the spike protein from the COVID-19 virus. And again, that's out in the public domain of peer-reviewed medical literature. That was pulled almost instantaneously, and at the time I thought, well, okay, whatever. If I want to do medical stuff, I'll start a separate channel and see what annoys people and what doesn't, but I don't think that's worth fighting over at this time if I want to keep just doing the medical experiments. Then more recently, just a few days ago, a video that had been on the channel for like a year or something, suddenly I get a message, this one's been censored and whatnot. That one had to do with Michael Faraday's electrolysis of metals. So, there's some irony here that it was talking about the electrolysis of silver in order to produce colloidal sized particles of silver. And Michael Faraday is, it's like what I'm doing with all of the, he gave us electromagnetism with some of his other experiments. And so there was the, do you want to enter the review process and this, that, and the other. And my thinking is, I'm working on things that I find important and are rather time consuming. And I don't know where I would begin to explain to people that, one, you can talk about proteolytic enzymes, such as the kinase family of enzymes, and their actions on other molecules as documented in the research in the peer-reviewed public domain. And even more egregious, you can talk about the findings of the great epical scientist of his day, Michael Faraday. And for all I know, I'd be talking to a hallucinating chatbot, which might actually be more fair. But that's sort of where I'm at now. And so what I'm getting out there is that I don't know if the channel will persist on YouTube. So there's a couple things. One is I'll try and get videos out at least, a couple times a week. Because if it goes, 2-3 weeks without a video, that doesn't mean I'm suddenly like utterly disinterested in the whole thing. It just means that the channel was yanked, aka censored. Then the other things I'll try and do is, I guess I'll start to try to look for other platforms to distribute some of this content on. This is really annoying to me because the medical stuff, of course, I'm far more comfortable with, but I'm even kind of scared of the things I'm seeing with some of the electromagnetic experiments. And as I said, it looks like a 200% efficient transformer with off-the-shelf parts. With half of my heart, I don't want the channel to grow. But of course, I feel that it's important to have this out in the public domain, as is done with medical research and whatnot, and to the extent possible to have it peer-reviewed by people who visit the channel. So the other thing I'm going to do, and as I recall, I purposely made the video on how you do electrolysis of silver pretty milk with toast and whatnot. It didn't get many views. It was on there for a long time. I do recall, there's at least one comment of someone saying, "Oh, I'm so glad I found this. Now I know how to you know, how to do electrolysis of metals well, he said electrolysis of silver. As Michael Faraday. He also did electrolysis of gold. Is that one verboten too? So in any event, I thought what I put out there was a very benign video. But, you know, of course, my background, you know, I have a master's degree in public health. I have a doctorate of medicine. And I spent nearly 10 years at the Food and Drug Administration as a medical reviewer in the Office of Rare Diseases. Don't worry, I was driven out for complaining that the quality of the review was inadequate. Really for saying they actually need to do a review. What I'm saying is that I have some familiarity with reviewing medical literature on a variety of often esoteric medical topics. So to speak as plainly as I suppose I can, I'll just kind of give you background about something else. Is, you know, when there was something bad that happened, maybe like 3 years back now or something, and the first thing when that started to become public is I spent 2 weeks going over all of the medical literature, nearly all of it. I mean, most of the medical literature that I could find on the properties of silver as an antiviral. And so I wrote all that up, and it was maybe about 10, 15 pages. And at the time, there was an evil garden gnome that lived in an office down the street from me at NIAID. So I made sure to email it to them. And I wasn't expecting that it would make any difference. I mean, I'd spent enough time in the government that, you know, they were going full-blown FUBAR, and nothing was going to stop them. I just wanted it on record, and, you know, fortunately I did get back, you know, we've received this and thank you. But I mean, you know, that's a lot more than anything I said in that video. So what I'm going to do is I will make that write-up now available as a little electronic booklet on Amazon that anyone can purchase. And if the other information was verboten, then this has got to be really valuable. So it'll be $299.99 if anyone wants to pick it up. No, it'll be $2.99. And so I guess that's sort of my response to all of this that's going on. And if you want to help out the channel, if you want to help me, and if you want to learn really the more important information about silver as an antiviral, and it also goes over all of the Michael Faraday stuff too, then you can go ahead and pick that up and you buy me a solid state relay for the next experiment. I think there's an email in there that I really never use, but I'll try and check it like once a week. I made it just for that. So that if, you know, like everything disappears right when I'm like, here's the battery test, and, you know, how did it end? So that's also still in there, and I'll try to remember to check that email maybe once every week or two as well. So that's where we're at. I'll put the link to the write-up that I sent to Fauci at the NIH at the start of the unfortunate incident. That goes over what I'm talking about, and if anyone wants to pick it up, I think it is very useful information to know. And again, if there's a problem with the channel, you know, it's always possible it's me being lazy, but as I said, I'll try and get videos out at least 2-3 times a week now. So if it goes on for a couple of weeks, then, you know, I've been censored. I'll try to look for other platforms, but it's again, you know, I don't want to waste all the time trying to do social media stuff. I want to look at the Transformer. So that's it. Thank you so much for your time. And next thing is we'll rebuild the Arduino battery capacity tester, and then we'll do some battery to battery tests. So stay healthy, everyone. Take care. Bye bye.